Today we're going to tie a very versatile minnow called the Clouser Minnow. This is a fly that rides upside down on the water, so the hook point is up. It's got a pair of dumbbell eyes on the front to keep it weighted, and uses just a couple materials, 2 colors of bucktail and some flash. You can tie these with lead dumbbell eyes, nickel dumbbell eyes. These are bead chain dumbbell eyes. Rides a little bit shallower. It's not as deep. There's also a variation where you can tie just using flash, so it's very streamlined in the water, has a lot of movement. You can tie various sizes of them. We have a really small one here, I think size 12 hook, maybe 8. And we also have some pike sized ones that we've tied before, and these are on a 5/0 hook with very large nickel eyes. Sinks real fast. To tie this, we're going to be using a size 2 mustad hook, a set of dumbbell eyes, 2 different colors of bucktail, white for the bottom and a darker color on the top, some flashaboo in the middle, and for this fly we're going to be using UTC 140 thread in red. So let's get started. To start, we're going to come about 2 to 3 hook eyes behind the eye of the hook and just put down maybe a 1/4 inch of thread to start a base. We're going to use our thumbnail as a guide to create a thread dam, and we're going to wrap this probably 15-20 times. Move forward a little bit and do the exact same thing. Doing this creates a little groove in the bottom, or in the thread, to allow the dumbbell eyes to sit in. Now to tie the dumbbell eyes, we're going to set this in there. Going to come up from the bottom and over the top of the eyes, going around the hook. I'll turn this so you can see. So you can see how I'm coming up and around. But you'll also notice now that they're crooked, so what I'm going to do is change directions. I'm going to do one wrap around the hook, come up to the back side of the other one, and pull forward, and you will notice they straighten right out. So the next thing we're going to do is called the tightening wrap. So the next thing we're going to do is do a tightening. To do this, I want to go under the eye, over the hook, under the eye, over the hook. So it's a nice fluid motion here. Show it from this angle so you can see what we're doing. We do this to tighten up the eyes to make sure that they're won't wiggle on there. Yep, and those are very tight. This is also a good spot to put a drop of head cement right in between the eyes. Let it soak into the thread. Now, to start our first color, we're going to take some white bucktail. I'm just going to take a little bit here off the hide. Cut it as close to the skin as you can. And now I'm going to take my fingers, pinching it tight about halfway through, and just lightly pull out any loose fibers. So now we'll get this all bunched together, trim it off nice and even, and since this will be the bottom of the fly, this is where we're going to tie the white. So I'm going to come up here right behind the eye, and I'm going to do something a little different than a lot of people is I'm going to actually take and wrap thread around the bundle twice, and slide it down to the hook and then tie it on. And we just want to bind that down really good. I do this for a number of reasons. One is to keep this bundle of bucktail nice and tight, and two, it makes it tying it down to the hook easier. So to get this to lie on the hook flat, we're going to cross over the eyes like this. I'm going to do 2 or 3 wraps this way, and then I'm going to go behind the eye and bind this down. Turn it this way so you can see what we're doing. You'll notice I haven't let go of the bucktail yet. This is to ensure that it stays on top of the hook, holding up at an angle. Now I can let go, and I'm going to cross back over the eyes 3 times the other way. And you'll see there's sort of an X across the eyes. Next, I'm going to spin the fly upside down. I'm going to take a few strands of flash. In this case, I'm using a black holographic. I'm just going to pull 3, 4 strands out, 2, 3, whatever. And I want to kind of stagger the edges, loosely holding in the middle, pulling them a little bit. We want to find about the midway point, and I'm going to lay it on the side of the hook here. Do a couple of wraps on the front, and then pick it up to make sure it's even. Can do some slight adjustments. And now I'm going to take the other side and fold it to the other side of the hook and wrap that down nice and tight. So you'll see here I have flash running on both sides of the hook. The next step will be taking some of the chartreuse in this case, but the darker bucktail, and again just gathering a bunch up. We don't need too much, half a pencil maybe. Clip that off. Again, I'm going to hold it about halfway. Again, I'm going to hold it about halfway. Pick out any loose strands. So again, we're going to take this chartreuse. I'm going to do 1, 2 little wraps around the hook, or the bundle, and tie that down on the hook, making sure we're going right in between the eyes. Hold everything out of the way, and we're going to just do a nice cone head on this. And that's it. Do a quick whip finish. And there you have it. And that's about as simple as it is. Again, you can use different materials for this. You can use dumbbell eyes so it won't sink as fast. This particular one here, you'll see, has a couple of strands of peacock curl on the back. You can also make them in different sizes. So we have a real small one or a real big one. And you can see in comparison how much bigger this hook is in the eye compared to the one we just did.